The IBM BladeCenter was IBM's blade server architecture, until it was sold to Lenovo in 2014. The deal was subject to approval by regulators in China, where Lenovo is based, and the United States, the home of IBM BladeCenter. On July 3, 2014, Lenovo announced the proposed deal had been approved by the Chinese government, but that it was still awaiting U.S. approval. The sale closed on October 1, 2014 and included the sale of System X and Flex Systems blade servers and switches, x86-Flex, NeXtScale, and iDataPlex servers, and software and networking. History, introduced in 2002, based on engineering work started in 1999, the IBM BladeCenter was relatively late to the blade server market. It differed from prior offerings in that it offered a range of x86 Intel server processors and input-output options. In February 2006, IBM introduced the BladeCenter H with switch capabilities for 10 gigabit Ethernet and InfiniBand 4X. A website called blade.org was available for the blade computing community through about 2009. Versions IBM BladeCenter The original IBM BladeCenter was later marketed as BladeCenter E with 14 blade slots and 7 U power supplies have been upgraded through the life of the chassis from the original 1200 to 1400, 1800, 2000 and 2320 watt. The BladeCenter was co-developed by IBM and Intel and included 14 blade slots in 7U, shared media tray with optical drive, floppy drive and USB 1.1 port, 1 management modules, 2 power supplies, 2 redundant high-speed blowers, 2 slots for gigabit Ethernet switches, 2 slots for optional switch or pass-through modules, can have additional Ethernet, fiber channel, InfiniBand or myRNA 2000 functions. IBM BladeCenter T BladeCenter T is the telecommunications company version of the original IBM BladeCenter, available with either AC or DC power. Has 8 blade slots in 8U, but uses the same switches and blades as the regular BladeCenter E. To keep NEBS Level 3/ETSI compliant special network equipment building system compliant blades are available. IBM BladeCenter H upgraded BladeCenter design with high-speed fabric options. Fits 14 blades and 9U backwards compatible with older BladeCenter switches and blades. Features 14 blade slots in 9U, shared media tray with optical drive and USB 2.0 port, 1 advanced management modules, 2 power supplies, 2 redundant high-speed blowers, 2 slots for gigabit Ethernet switches, 2 slots for optional switch or pass-through modules, can have additional Ethernet, fiber channel, InfiniBand or myRNA 2000 functions. 4 slots for optional high-speed switches or pass-through modules, can have 10 gigabit Ethernet or InfiniBand 4X, optional hardwired serial port capability. IBM BladeCenter Heights BladeCenter Heights is the telecommunications company version of the IBM BladeCenter H, available with either AC or DC power. Has 12 blade slots in 12U, but uses the same switches and blades as the regular BladeCenter H. But to keep NEBS Level 3/ETSI compliant special NEBS compliant blades are available. IBM BladeCenter S targets mid-sized customers by offering storage inside the BladeCenter chassis, so no separate external storage needs to be purchased. It can also use 110V power in the North American market, so it can be used outside the data center. Features 6 blade slots in 7U, shared media tray with optical drive and 2x USB 2.0 ports, up to 12 hot swap 3.5 inches SAS or SATA drives with RAID 0, 1 and 1E capability, RAID 5 and SAN capabilities optional with 2 SAS RAID controllers, 2 optional disk storage modules for HDDs, 6 3.5-inch SAS SATA drives each. 4 hot swap I/O switch module bays, 1 advanced management module as standard, 2 951,450 watt hot swap power modules and ability to have 2 optional 951,450 watt power modules, offering redundancy and power for robust configurations. 4 hot swap redundant blowers, plus 1 fan in each power supply. Intel-based, modules based on x86 processors from Intel. HS12 2008, features, Celeron single-core 445 to quad-core Intel Xeon processors up to 2.83 GHz, 6 DIMM slots, hot swap drives. HS20 2002-6, features 1 or 2 Intel Xeon DP processors, 4 DIMM, option for 1 or 2 2.5 inches drives depending on generation, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. HS21 2007-8, this Blade model can use the high-speed I/O option of the BladeCenter H, but is backwards compatible with a regular BladeCenter. Features, 1 or 2 Intel Xeon DP processors, 4 DIMM slots, option for 1 or 2 SAS 2.5 inches drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. HS21XM 2007-8, this Blade model can use the high-speed I/O option of the BladeCenter H, but is backwards compatible with a regular BladeCenter. Features, 1 or 2 Intel Xeon DP processors, 8 DIMM slots, option for 1 SAS 2.5 inches drive or 1 or 2 SAS-based solid-state drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. HS22 2009 11, features, 1 or 2 Intel Xeon 5500 or 5600 series processors, 12 DDR3 VLP DIMM slots, option for 2 hot swap SAS 2.5 inches drives or solid-state drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 IF slot and 1 CFFH slot for a total of 8 ports of I/O to each blade, including 4 ports of high-speed I/O, requires advanced management module. HS22V 2010 11, features are very similar to HS22 but, 18 DDR3 VLP DIMM slots, up to 288 GB of total memory capacity, up to 2 1.8 inches disks, requires advanced management module. HS23 2012, features, single-wide, 1 or 2 Intel Xeon E5-2600, 16 DIMM slots, up to 1600 MHz, 2 hot swappable HDDs or SSDs, dual 10G/1G Ethernet and board expandable to 4x10, virtual fabric/VNI season board, requires advanced management module. HS23 2012, features, single-wide, 1 or 2 Intel Xeon E5-2400, 12 DIMM slots, up to 1600 MHz, 2 hot swappable HDDs or SSDs, dual gigabit Ethernet and board ports with ToE, requires advanced management module. HS40 2004, features, double-wide, 1 to 4 Intel Xeon MP processors, 8 DIMM slots, option for 1 or 2 ATA 100 2.5 inches drives, 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, 2 expansion slots for up to 4 additional ports. HC10 2008, this Blade model is targeted to the workstation market, features, single Intel Core 2 Duo processor, 4 DIMM slots, NVIDIA video adapter, 1 SATA 60 GB HDD, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. HX5 2010 11, this Blade model is targeted at the server virtualization market. Features, 2 expandable to 4 Intel E7, 6500 or 7500 series Xeon, 16 DIMM slots. Expandable to 40 slots with a 24 DIMM Max 5 memory blade. 2 gigabit Ethernet ports per blade. AMD-based, modules based on x86 processors from AMD. LS20 2005-6, features, 1 or 2 AMD Opteron processors, 4 DIMM slots for DDR1 VLP DIMMs, option for 1 or 2 SCSIU 322.5 inches drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. LS21 2006. This blade model can use the high-speed I/O of the BladeCenter H, but is also backwards compatible with a regular BladeCenter. Features: 1 or 2 AMD Opteron processors, 8 DIMM slots for up to 32 GB of RAM, option for 1 SAS 2.5 inches drive, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. LS22 2008, upgraded model of LS21. Features: 1 or 2 AMD Opteron processors, 8 DIMM slots for up to 64 GB of RAM, option for 2 SAS 2.5 inches drive, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. LS41 2006-7. This blade model can use the high-speed I/O option of the BladeCenter H, but is backwards compatible with a regular BladeCenter. Features: double-wide, 1 to 4 AMD Opteron processors, 16 DIMM slots for up to 64 GB of RAM, option for 1 or 2 SAS 2.5 inches drives, 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, 2 expansion slots for up to 4 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. Data storage capacity LS42 2008-9, upgraded model of LS41. Features: double-wide, 1 to 4 AMD Opteron processors, 16 DIMM slots for up to 128 GB of RAM, option for 1 or 2 SAS 2.5 inches drives, 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, 2 expansion slots for up to 4 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. Power-based, modules based on power architecture processors from IBM. JS20 2006, features: can run AIX or Linux, 2 PowerPC 970 processors at 1.6 or 2.2 GHz, 4 DIMM slots for PC 2700 ECC memory, option for 1 or 2 ATA 100 2.5 inches drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. JS21 2006. This blade model can have the high-speed I/O option of the BladeCenter H, but is backwards compatible with a regular BladeCenter. Features: can run AIX or Linux, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 2 PowerPC 970 FX single-core processors at 2.7 GHz or 2 PowerPC 970 MP dual-core processors at 2.5 GHz, 4 DIMM slots for PC 2-3200 or PC 2-4200 ECC memory, option for 1 or 2 SAS 2.5 inches drives, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. JS22 2009, features: can run IBM I, AIX or Linux, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 2 PowerPC 6 dual-core processors at 4.0 GHz, 4 DIMM slots ECC chip kill DDR2 SDRAM memory, 1 2.5 inches SAS drive up to 146 GB, integrated virtualization manager, IVM, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports card, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. JS23 2009, features: can run IBM I, AIX or Linux, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 2 PowerPC 6 dual-core processors at 4.2 GHz, 64 MB AL3 cache, 4 DIMM slots ECC chip kill DDR2 SDRAM memory, 1 2.5 inches SAS up to 300 GB or 169 GB SSD drive, integrated virtualization manager, IVM, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports card, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 IVE PCIe expansion slot. JS43 Express features, can run IBM I, AIX or Linux, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 4 PoWER6 dual-core processors at 4.2 GHz, 128 MB AL3 cache, 8 DIMM slots ECC chip kill DDR2 SDRAM memory, 0 to 2.5 inches SAS up to 300 GB or 0 to 269 GB SSD drives, integrated virtualization manager, IVM, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports card, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 2 PCIe IVE expansion slots, double wide form factor. JS12 Express features, can run IBM I, AIX or Linux, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 1 PoWER6 dual-core processor at 3.8 GHz, 8 DIMM slots ECC chip kill DDR2 SDRAM memory, 0 to 2.5 inches SAS drive up to 146 GB, integrated virtualization manager, IVM, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, with option and dual bit card, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. PS700 features, can run IBM I, AIX or Linux on power, can do virtualization, offering dynamic logical partitioning capabilities. 1 PoWER7 quad-core processor at 3 GHz, max 64 GB, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, with option and dual bit card. PS701 features are very similar to PS700, but 8-core processor, max 128 GB. PS702 think to PS701 tied together back-to-back, forming a double-wide blade. PS703 features are very similar to PS701, but 2 8-core processors at 2.4 GHz. PS704 think to PS703 tied together back-to-back, forming a double-wide blade. Cell-based, modules based on cell processors from IBM. QS20 features, double-wide, can run Linux, 2 cell processors at 3.2 GHz, 1 GB XDRAM memory, 40 GB IDE 102.5 inches drive, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, optional InfiniBand 4X connectivity. QS21 features, single-wide, can run Linux, 2 cell processors at 3.2 GHz, 2 GB memory, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 1 expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports, 1 high-speed expansion slot for up to 2 additional ports. QS22 features, single-wide, can run Linux, 2 PowerXCELL8i processors at 3.2 GHz, up to 32 GB of DDR2 SDRAM RAM memory, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, expansion slots for SAS daughter card, InfiniBand 4X DDR daughter card and 8 GB UFDM flash drive. Ultra-SPARC-based, 2BC, Themis Computer announced a blade around 2008. It ran the Sun Solaris operating system from Sun Microsystems. Each module had one UltraSPARC T2 with 64 threads at 1.2 GHz and up to 32 GB of DDR2 SDRAM processor memory. Advanced Network, PN41, developed in conjunction with CloudShield, features, single-wide, based on Intel IXP2805 network processor, full payload screening with deep packet inspection, full Layer 7 processing and control, user programmability using Eclipse-based IDE and Rave Open Development Language, Quad 1 Gb plus Quad 10 Gb Ethernet controllers, up to 20 Gb SDPI throughput per blade, selective traffic capture, rewrite and redirect, has LAN and WAN interfaces. Roadrunner TRI blade. The IBM Roadrunner supercomputer used a custom module called the TRI blade from 2008 through 2013. An expansion blade connects two QS22 modules with 8 GB RAM each via 4 PCIe X8 links to a LS21 module with 16 GB RAM, 2 links for each QS22. It also provides outside connectivity via an InfiniBand 4X DDR adapter. This makes a total width of 4 slots for a single TRI blade. 3 TRI blades fit into one BladeCenter H chassis. Switch modules. The BladeCenter can have a total of 4 switch modules, but 2 of the switch module bays can take only an Ethernet switch or Ethernet pass-through. To use the other switch module bays, a daughter card needs to be installed on each blade that needs it, to provide the required SAN, Ethernet, InfiniBand or MyRINET function. Mixing of different type daughter cards in the same BladeCenter chassis is not allowed. Gigabit Ethernet Gigabit Ethernet switch modules were produced by IBM, Nortel, and Cisco Systems. Blade Network Technologies produced some switches, and later was purchased by IBM. In all cases speed internal to the BladeCenter, between the blades, is non-blocking. External Gigabit Ethernet ports vary from 4 to 6 and can be either copper or optical fiber. Storage area network A variety of SAN switch modules have been produced by QLOGIC, Cisco, MacData and Brocade ranging in speeds of 1, 2, 4 and 8-bit fiber channel. Speed from the SAN switch to the blade is determined by the lowest common denominator between the blade HBA daughter card and the SAN switch. External port counts vary from 2 to 6, depending on the switch module. InfiniBand An InfiniBand switch module has been produced by Cisco. Speed from the blade InfiniBand daughter card to the switch is limited to IB1X. Externally the switch is one IB4X and one IB12X port. The IB12X port can be split to 3 IB4X ports, giving a total of 4 IB4X ports and a total theoretical external bandwidth of 40 bit. Pass-through 2 kinds of pass-through module are available, copper pass-through and fiber pass-through. The copper pass-through can be used only with Ethernet, while the fiber pass-through can be used for Ethernet, SAN or MyRINET. Bridge modules are only compatible with BladeCenter H and BladeCenter Heights. They function like Ethernet or SAN switches and bridge the traffic to InfiniBand. The advantage is that from the operating system on the blade everything seems normal, but inside the BladeCenter everything gets routed over the InfiniBand. High-speed switch modules. High-speed switch modules are compatible only with the BladeCenter H and BladeCenter Heights. A blade that needs the function must have a high-speed daughter card installed. Different high-speed daughter cards cannot be mixed in the same BladeCenter chassis. 10 Gigabit Ethernet A 10 Gigabit Ethernet switch module was available from Blade Network Technologies. This allowed 10-bit S connection to each blade, and to outside the BladeCenter. InfiniBand 4X There are several InfiniBand options, a high-speed InfiniBand 4X SDR switch module from Cisco. This allows IB4X connectivity to each blade. Externally the switch has 2 IB4X ports and 2 IB12X ports. The 12X ports can be split to 3 4X ports, providing a total of 8 IB4X ports or a theoretical bandwidth of 80 bit. Internally between the blades, the switch is non-blocking. A high-speed InfiniBand pass-through module to directly connect the blades to an external InfiniBand switch. This pass-through module is compatible with both SDR and DDR InfiniBand speeds. A high-speed InfiniBand 4X QDR switch module from Voltaire. This allows full IB4X QDR connectivity to each blade. Externally the switch has 16 QSFP ports, all 4X QDR capable. See also, the IBM Roadrunner was implemented with IBM BladeCenter components, from 2008 through 2013. All supercomputers of Spanish supercomputing network employ the IBM BladeCenter. This includes Majorite and Marinostrum and 6 small supercomputers. The Ljubljana Supercomputing Center employs the IBM BladeCenter. Weta Digital uses IBM BladeCenter to render The Lord of the Rings and other films. References. External links, IBM BladeCenter homepage, IBM BladeCenter Redbooks, IBM BladeCenter Products and Technology, IBM Redbooks, IBM BladeCenter HS22 Technical Introduction, IBM Redbooks, IBM BladeCenter HS22V Technical Introduction, IBM Redbooks, VMware vSphere on IBM BladeCenter H, IBM BladeCenter Product Publications Quick Reference, IBM Redbooks, Intel Enterprise Blade Service Homepage, x4live.com, latest news and links on Modular System X, Modular BladeCenter and Systems Management, IBM's Online Server Configurator, creapm.com, Board Management Controller Firmware and other information for building BladeCenter compatible blades.